Good morning, everybody. It's Oatmeal Joey. So, I want to talk about Black Panther. Just got done seeing the movie on my computer and downloaded it. I want to tell you what I think about it. First of all, spoiler alert, because I'm going to tell you all about it because I'm really excited and I was telling my mother about it. And first, remember that it's a movie with people. It's called Black Panther, not to be confused with Pink Panther. Dun 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 dun. And let me tell you. What should I tell you first? Still trying to put my head around all of it. I like the movie for a couple different reasons. A little bit worried about a few things too. And I should tell you, it's all about this secret African country that's kind of like America. In this country that's like in the Garden of Eden, basically, like near the Congo jungle in Africa, where all like the dinosaurs or some of the last remaining dinosaurs, according to some people, in the last 100 or 200 years, according to some people, like some people said that like the Fountain of Youth, like the Garden of Eden, is in this area. Like they show you in the movie the garden. I mean the city. The city and the country of the Black Panther people. They have a name, but it's very, very interesting. But they keep the country like underground, almost like the what do you call it, the Gungan people in Star Wars, the Phantom Menace, and they lived under the water. But with these African people, they had the most amazing like city ever, and it's powered by uranium. That thing that Hillary Clinton was getting, or selling off to the Russians. Or no, it wasn't really like uranium, but it was something that rhymes with uranium, like Lithuanium or something, and it was just an amazing, powerful like city, and had two World Trade Center buildings. Like it looked just like WTC, W2EF, it just looked just like the Freedom buildings that were in New York before they blew up. And it's very powerful city and country that they keep away from everybody because they feel like it's gonna happen again. All the countries in the world are going to go after them and try to, just kill each other over the technology because they they found like the secret to life, because of they're able to use this like metal thing, uranium, lutanium thing, to be able to have technology that's more advanced than anybody else, and so they were like more superior than anybody else, and in the past that's what happened. According to them, all the countries of the world were fighting them, and everything was like World War II or III or IV, and it was crazy. So they went underground into the black market because they're black people, actually, because it's like the cradle of life. It reminds me of the Tomb Raiders with Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie. You remember that movie? I remember that movie. I was a little tadpole when I saw that. Very interested. And she went in, and I don't remember, they were looking for something very powerful in that movie. They went into Africa or something. And so in the Black Panther movie, it starts out with like I don't remember. Hold on, a little bit confused, but in their little secret country, they always have this powerful king, and the king is very important because not only is he the king of the country, he's also the Black Panther. And it all started long ago. Like, long ago, it's like, they say once upon a time, the African people were like fighting each other. Just like the Native Americans and all around the world, you know, tribes were always fighting other tribes and stuff, historically speaking, and then out of nowhere, from like space or something, these like aliens came or something, and they had this precious metal thing, and they were able to help the African Indians and help them build a city and become a powerful nation or something, and there was like some kind of Black Panther that was maybe like an alien or something, and was able to like pass on the powers, just like Yoda was able to pass on power or the wisdom to Luke Skywalker or something. I don't know, but it was something like that. But very interesting, I would say, because you had the first king, first Black Panther, and they would pass it on. And so in the beginning of the movie, it's like the king died from like a terrorist attack or something, and then later on, the son had to like become the king, and so they got the son. He was like in America, probably in Los Angeles, and they come in their UFO. They get him. They bring him back to Africa. They go through a ceremony, and they're all these tribes are standing on the side of a waterfall, and they all have these drums, and they're all looking at him, and they're wearing all this African stuff, Indian stuff, with like, you know, bones and stuff sticking out of their bodies, and tattoos and everything, and so people are asking, okay, does anybody want to challenge him for the throne, like the Game of Thrones? And nobody did until one guy's like, I'm gonna do it, blah blah blah, and it was basically like the Lion King, but with the real people, and they had to fight. And they're fighting on the side of the waterfall, and but somehow the guy won and was able to like become the king, but just barely. But later on in the movie, they find out that there's this other guy in America with an American accent, and he ended up being like the brother of that guy who became the king. And so then they're fighting somehow, and this American, this African American guy is like, hey, yo, I'm gonna hang, yo, I'm gonna be the king. And he had like little bumps on his skin all over his body for every time he killed people, and he was like in the American army, in the military for like many years, and he said, yeah, I was fighting in the Middle East and Africa and Europeans, yeah, dog. I was preparing my whole life for this, and the African king was like, who are you? Like, who are you? Something like that. And I mean, maybe that's not what he said, but I'm sure that's what he was feeling. Do you feel that? Do you feel what I'm saying? I don't know, but they had a fight for the throne, and the African American guy, he somehow won, picked up his body, threw it over the waterfall, and he fell to his death, as far as we know, and he became the king, and he was like, you know, he was like a badass king. He was like, okay, you know, where were you when all the African slaves around the world were like dying, because of slavery, and they were in the boats and ships and dying when they're being, taken to other countries to be slaves, like taken to America to be slaves, and to be in that kind of bondage and slavery and all this terrible stuff. Where were you? Now we got the power because we got the best country. Which it's kind of like America, but it's like a black America hidden in Africa. And we're gonna go all around the world, and we're gonna kill our enemies, which it's everybody. We're gonna kill all the white people and everybody. And and they had to basically do whatever he said because he was the king. But then there were a few other people, like the sister of the king, the mother of the king. They started running away, and they were able to find the king, and another tribe kept him, and because the king was like almost like frozen inside, like ice, like a frozen dinosaur, like a frozen elephant, like a frozen mastodon, something like that. And then they were able to revive him, but before he did, he had like a vision of his father in like the afterlife in heaven or something, and his father, the father of the king, was like, do you want to come with us? I think it's time. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? You had another son. And his father's like, well, I decided, I wanted you. That was a good choice, but he wasn't happy about what his father did, like lying about, that there was another son that could have been the king if he wasn't there or something. But and then he was like, I don't like the fact that you only want this country to be just for this country and not for the whole world. I'm gonna do things different because you and your father and your father and your father and your father has all been wrong. We're gonna like share our wealth and our power and everything with the rest of the world because nationalism is a terrible idea, and globalism is the best idea, or something like that. Basically, that's kind of what he was getting at. He didn't actually say it in those words, but it was kind of all about that, and as far as I know. And so somehow he gets out of his coma, and he starts to prepare with them, and they go after the bad king in Africa, and they start to have a war, and they're fighting, and then he was able to morph like a Power Ranger into the Black Panther. It's Black Panther power now, so the bad king was fighting the good king. So there was two Black Panthers at the same time. Somehow his sister was able to make another one, so that he could be a Black Panther too. Though it's kind of like having two Green Rangers with Tommy Oliver. Who is that? Who's the actor that played Tommy Oliver in the Power Rangers? What's his name? Frank David something. And they're fighting at the end of the movie, and there was this James Bond looking guy in the movie, and he was working with the CIA, and he saved one of the black girls, probably the sister of the king, and so he was along for the ride, and he was able to ride around in the spaceship to help fight in the Civil War, and which actually happens a lot in Africa, if you don't know, historically, especially Africa and all over America. Historically, it's a kind of thing that happens in Europe too, a little bit. People tend to fight sometimes, but more so in Africa. historically. And so everybody's like fighting and everything, and it's like how do I say, um, I don't know, pretty crazy, pretty cool, kind of exciting a little bit. And eventually, I guess the good people won. Are they really the good people? I don't know, but basically the king won. But at the end, you know, when the brother is fighting the other brother, the good king is fighting the other king, and the bad king is dying. So his brother, the good king, is looking at him and saying, you know, don't die, don't die. Or you know, maybe I'll help you, maybe I'll bury you somewhere special. And the bad king looks at his brother and is like, no, just drop me in the ocean, just like my ancestors who died during slavery, like, because I know that death is better than bondage. I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know, I don't think death is actually better than bondage. Obviously, freedom is better than bondage. Bondage is still better than death. Yeah, death, bondage is still a little bit better than death, and freedom is even better than bondage. But I mean, well, the argument would probably be that if you're dead, you're free. So if you eliminate one of them, then obviously the other one would be just like the last one. Logically speaking, I guess I understand that. However, I would argue back and say, I don't think that's really true. I mean, ultimately, you know, it depends on what happens after you die. But life is all about making choices, and that's what life is. The meaning of life is love, and the meaning of love is life. And if you don't let people make choices, then what is life all about? And sometimes we're gonna make the wrong choices, we're gonna make the wrong decisions. That's what free will is all about. And so crazy things are gonna happen, bad things are gonna happen. But if you eliminate all the bad stuff, then what kind of life do you have? What kind of world do you have? So you're gonna have some good things happening, and you're gonna have some bad things happening. You're gonna have some good people and bad people. But you try to eliminate all that, then you don't really have life. You're really being a part of that. But obviously, we want to keep life as safe as possible. We want to be able to, you know, keep life very good and everything. And it's good to be there for your family, for your community, and to try to keep people as safe as possible. But are you really gonna be able to eliminate all the bad people and all the bad decisions? Does that mean you're perfect and you never make, you know, any bad decisions or stuff? Because if you do and you want to eliminate all the bad people, does that mean you have to eliminate yourself? In the Black Panther movie, the bad king dies. You know, he says that thing about, you know, death is better than bondage. I say bondage is better than death, but freedom is better than bondage. I know. You gotta live life, and you gotta suffer, and you gotta fight, and freedom's not really free. You gotta fight, and you gotta be there to help other people if you want, and it's better that way. But and so at the end of the movie, the good black king goes back to America, goes to Los Angeles, and starts some kind of like science lab with his sister. And he's you know, he's saying to his sister, you know, we're gonna do things different, you know, since I'm the new king of this secret Black Panther African country in the Garden of Eden, the fountain of youth. We're gonna we're gonna do this globalistic thing. We're gonna share our like technology and science and money and everything with the world. Specifically, African people, probably the black people, not the white people. Probably, I mean, that's at least that's kind of what the bad Black King was doing, thinking, saying like we're gonna seek revenge on all the white people because they're the only ones with slaves. Actually, they're not. Black people have black slaves. Yellow people did too. White people did. Actually, white people, there were only like 2% of the people that had slaves, like in the 1800s. Would you know that? Would you know that? If you took your time to study a little bit of history, it's actually the white people that were ending slavery. Because slavery has always been around in so many different countries around the world historically. All kinds of people of all kinds of colors have had slaves. But are they going to tell you that? You know, yesterday there was some shootings, you know, people with guns killing other people. That was Sunday. That was yesterday. Did you hear about that in the news? Probably not. Because number one, it was Muslims killing people. Number two, you know, it was Christians. They were killing some Christians, so they're not going to talk about that. Number three, it was in Russia, so you're probably not going to hear about that. But that kind of thing happens all the time. But then, you know, something happens, like with Florida, for example, then you might hear about it on the mainstream media, and that's too bad. Because, you know, you hear about that, like what happened in Florida, but you don't hear about what happened in Russia yesterday. You don't hear about this. You don't hear about that, or this thing, that thing. And it's happening like every day, all the time, but you're not going to know if you're distracted, which a lot of people are. So distracted, you know, something's going to pop up on your screen, on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, and they're going to be like, oh, look at this, look at that, and you become some kind of animal because, you know, you're just looking around and you don't know the whole story about this thing or that thing. And I've been in it too. A lot of times in my life. I'm 33 now. Been around. If you don't know, I'm Oatmeal Joy Arnold. It's 2017, February 19, Monday. I'm near Seattle. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this movie. And with spoilers and everything, and then talk about the world and everything that's happening. And I want to tell you that a lot of things are happening, and it's good to know. And then you can tell other people if they really want to know, and tell people, you know, if you want to know what's happening now, you really gotta know history and stuff. And so I feel like it's really important to understand history. It's important to understand how to connect what's happening now with what happened already. History is always repeating itself, and you got the cycles and stuff going up and down and everything. I could probably talk forever about it, but interesting movie. But I would say, I would really, really love to be a Black Panther. But then I would have to become the White Panther. Just like, you know, in the Power Rangers. You know, the Green Ranger became the White Ranger, and that's totally cool. Totally cool. And there was a black guy in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that came out in the United States in '93. The black guy, Zach, he was a Black Ranger. And the Asian girl, who was Vietnamese, Trini was the Yellow Ranger. The white girl, Kimberly, she was a pink ranger. The nerd, the blue ranger, Billy Breaker. That's me, Billy. I'm Billy. He was the blue ranger. And the red guy, he wasn't really a Native American Indian, but Jason was the red ranger. Some people are like, man, that's racist. Because, you know, the black guy is the black guy. The black guy is the black ranger. Yellow person is the yellow ranger. That is racist, man. I would say you can say it's racist if you want, but I don't really care. And at the same time, what's going on in the world if we can't call things for what they are, and is it really racist, or is it just a profile? You know, I really like watching Criminal Minds and CSI and Law and Order, and sometimes you have to know what's going on. You gotta know who the people are, and sometimes you gotta profile. That's not being racist. That's just trying to evaluate and try to figure out who you are, who they are, and figure out like what's going on, because you gotta know sometimes, and that's okay. That's life, and it's better. But you know, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What's going on here? Black Panther. What do you think about Black Panther? Let me know. Do you like this video? Do you like my face? Do you think it's made out of oatmeal? As it probably is. Am I Black Panther? I might be. What am I talking about? History. History. You know what I'm talking about. Do you listen when I talk about? I don't know. This. I gotta go. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go do Black Panther stuff, because that's all I know how to do. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the secret city of Africa and be like, oh man, it's like Lord of the Rings. Maybe I should make videos where I'm talking like this the whole time. Otherwise, I'm just talking a little bit slow. Maybe next time I could probably start over. But it's already been about 30 minutes now, so I gotta go all that stuff. I'm just an oatmeal boy. What do I know? I don't know. I'm Oatmeal Joey Arnold. Who are you? What do you want to tell me? Let me know. Let me know to comment, to subscribe. I don't know. I can't say this. I gotta go.